This is Indy. Indy is what I would call a matriarch of Running Springs. We have 3 of her babies here on the farm. One is her weanling Woody, one is her 2-year-old stud colt Wally, and her 4-year-old daughter Wheezy. Girlfriend, I need you to stand still for this, okay? We're trying to talk you up. We're trying to make you the star here, okay? We're just trying to give a little ode to our brood mares. And Indy is a great one to start with because she's not one of those stories of coming from an amazing show background. She wasn't super expensive. She didn't have a bunch of babies that went and won, and I bought her to, build my program around. She was from a kill pen in Oklahoma, and I don't honestly know why her video popped up on my Facebook. And I saw in the comments that Robin, who owns Full Metal Jacket, the stallion, had commented saying, hey, I know this mare. I don't know why she's in this predicament. She's been bred to Full Metal Jacket before. Someone please save her. I bought her for around $1,000, and because Robin was so excited that I got her and we were, trying to make it happen to where she could have another Full Metal Jacket baby, she helped me track down her papers so that I could transfer her into my name. And that's just how the story started. And her first baby with Full Metal Jacket is Wheezy, her 4-year-old daughter. And now we've trickled down to her first ever colt with VS Code Red. So let's look at all 3 of our Indy babies. So Indy did have a little bit of a life on the track. She was a racehorse. She was bred in California. Her name is La India Elegant. She's 18 years old. And again, this is her 3rd baby with me. And I feel like they do just keep getting better and better. So, I know it's not the most conventional start to her being a part of the broodmare program, but it's like her movement, her mind for a thoroughbred, because they're kind of known for being a little hotter. She's so good-minded. What little I know about Indy beforehand, I do know that she had at least 2 or 3 foals before I got her. I feel like it was probably more. The thought process for breeding her to my stallion VS Code Red as a 16-hand Western Pleasure stallion, he has been crossed on many hunt seat mares, and because of the way that he's built and the way that he moves, he has such a free shoulder, he has such a good top line, he has a lot more beef to his body, he also has a very good brain. I feel like crossing him with these more higher strung, bigger mares, maybe these big freer flowing mares that might need a little refinement, a little tightening up, it's a really cool cross. And so I thought it was going to be magic breeding Waylon to Indy, and it's so far proving to be. I do love that from what I see in Woody, and there's still lots of time for him to grow, but he seems to be growing uphill, meaning like his wither stays a bit taller than his hip. And for what we want him to do, that's a very good quality. Isn't she so pretty at 18 years old? Oh my gosh, the slow-leggedness. If anyone is asking why I'm keeping him, this should answer your question right now. So the reason we only have 3 of her babies, Indy she has really gigantic foals and doesn't tend to hold pregnancies while she's nursing. So we always have to give her a year off.
He's so fancy. I love him.
Oh, wow. That's just special. Okay. Well, you just saw the future of Indy's progeny as, a 4-month-old little colt. I do plan on keeping him, and a lot of people like to know the ins and outs of like my strategies of who I keep and why I sell some. So Woody, he's a boy, so I don't know that he's going to be a stallion prospect or if he's going to be gelded. He's probably going to be gelded. And a lot of people are like, you don't keep geldings. Why are you going to keep him? Well, business models change sometimes. And correct, I don't normally keep geldings, but for him specifically, his mom's older. I do plan on pulling some embryos from her now that I know how nice her babies are and we've seen them grow up a bit. But Woody exemplifies something that I believe in, which is how amazing the cross between a big free-legged thoroughbred mare and my stallion Waylon can turn out. So I'm not gonna lie, it's a marketing tactic. I want you to see how amazing Woody grows up and I want you to say, I have a mare similar to Indy that's a thoroughbred mare, and I really want a cool appendix foal to then show in AQHA. I'm going to breed to VS Code Red. That's the hope there. And we do deals for thoroughbreds. Anyway, let's go get her next oldest boy, Wally. So next is Indy's 2-year-old colt, who you've seen before. If you want to go watch his first ever ride, we have that as a video as well. But Walter, aka Wally, aka RS Black Ice, I might change it, I don't know, let me know what you think. But he has been coming along fantastically. His mind is phenomenal, movement is improving. I don't have any complaints about him, and he's a stud colt, so he's still intact, and we're hoping that he keeps his wits about him, where we can allow him to be a breeding stallion one day. And so our goal for him is to show, but first we got to get him broke. And I think he's going to be, like, our goal for him would be to show as like a 4-year-old potentially. So we're just doing a really slow start at 2. I think this is probably his 10th ride since we started him in February, and it's, you know, mid-June. So what you'll see her do, she's going to start off by lunging him, which is just moving him around in the arena around her on a long line. And then she's going to actually long line him by putting 2 long lead ropes through the surcingle that she has on his saddle. That way she can actually maneuver his head, and she's been doing that for a while, even before she got on him, just to get him a little more used to someone, you know, pulling and manipulating his head with his mouth and having a bit in his mouth. She only had like a side pull on for quite a while. So now she's got a snaffle in his mouth, but it just really got him used to having brakes, you know, having pressure, all that good stuff. And so then, if he's good, which he's been pretty good, she'll hop on him. I swear he keeps getting nicer.
He does.
Stephanie is just like, yeah, I've been telling you how nice these freaking horses are. I've been telling you how good he is. And then I come in, I'm like, he's looking nice. She's like, yeah, I've been telling you.
Well, just think about what he looked like when I started working here.
For real.
That was a completely different horse.
Okay, I would love to know. It's only been a few months, so we're only going to get better. When you first worked with him, were you like, what the heck is she thinking?
Yeah. But I get it now. I see the big picture. Also, he's like an English horse. Sometimes they look ugly, and then they grow up and they're real pretty. So,
because he did. I mean, he was like he was a noodle. She still calls him a noodle. He's very loosey-goosey and free-flowing, and so he has a little bit more what we call knee action, which isn't necessarily the most desirable trait for the Western Pleasure or for necessarily like the hunter under saddle. But for a horse that you're wanting to do the over fences, even in the equitation on the flat, the English Versatility, and you know, there's a wide range of classes that a little bit of knee action is actually preferred. So like in the jumping, you want them to have a lot of motion and range there. He's getting better moving. As he gets stronger, he doesn't have near as much knee action, and he actually has a lot more suspension. And so that's just with a few months. We'll see what happens after he's been under saddle for a year and 2 years and keeps getting stronger. So a lot of people ask me, how do I choose for a colt to stay a stallion prospect or a stud colt? Well, one, I have to want to further their bloodlines, right? Like if I see a need for that bloodline in the gene pool, or if they have super proven bloodlines, you know? And so with Walter, he's cool because he's a little bit of an outcross for a lot of the horses that I would be breeding him to, meaning he has different bloodlines. So his sire is Full Metal Jacket, who does have some popular, you know, quarter horse lines, but Indy is a thoroughbred, so it's bringing in some different blood, and he is conformationally really nice. He has good feet, good mind. So now he's got to put all those things together and hopefully go be a show horse. By the way, y'all know Stephanie? She's new. She's new here. He's gotten so much stronger even at a slower pace where he's keeping a nice cadence and a nice rhythm. She's turning him around. Look how handy he's getting. So here he is on the right lead. I think that he's a little bit stronger to the right at the moment. Am I right in thinking he's stronger to the right?
I think he's a little, like he wants to shape a little better to the right. But I think he has a little more stamina to the left.
Oh, okay.
Because the Cairo keeps saying that, like, he's left-handed. He's not right-handed.
Yeah. You said he's left-handed, not right-handed?
That's what the Cairo says.
Okay.
But in his face, I feel like his face is better to the right.
Look at him being able to actually jog a little bit.
I want him to jog. That's like my goal.
Yeah.
I want him to jog and trot.
I mean, that'll be important for other things he needs to do. I think once he finishes growing and he's staying super level, I think he'll be a really deep-bodied, balanced guy.
Yeah, I agree.
He's very much in like the forward motion part of training. Like we just want him, when she puts her legs on him, that he knows, oh, I go forward. When she pulls back on his face, oh, I stop. If she turns him, you know, very basic. There we go. Look at how just like slow, long-legged he is. I can't imagine what he's going to look like when he's out in the arena instead of in this round pen. It really affects their movement. When they're this big, they can't really show how nice they are. They're constantly turning, you know? They can't really throw that leg out there like they naturally can. Very cute.
He doesn't like being wrong in those canter parts. If I have to kick on him, he doesn't enjoy it.
Yeah, he and Wheezy are, and I don't know if it's like, you know, kind of like that, like thoroughbred in them. They both are a little more sensitive than
to touch.
Yeah. So the next step after the round pen is taking him to the indoor arena, which is a little bit smaller, a little more contained, but a bigger area than the round pen, so that she has to, I don't know, it's a little bit harder to, when a horse has been used to just being in a circle, it's a whole other ball game once you have this big area and you can go straight with them. And then after he's been in there for a bit and she feels safe, she'll take him to the big outdoor arena, and that's where we're going to see the magic. Being a really good trooper.
He's being such a good boy.
Okay, well, why don't we'll take him in, we'll hose him off, and then we'll bring out his sister Wheezy to end us out. And last but not least is Wheezy, aka RS, full of elegance. That's Wheezy. Because technically her name's Eloise. I was in a big Bridgerton themed thing when she was born. So I have Eloise, Penelope, Daphne, like we got them all. Anyway, she is my 4-year-old brown filly by Full Metal Jacket and out of Indy. She has been to a couple trainers. So like as a 2-year-old, she was just really growthy, real big. I didn't really know what direction I wanted to go with her. But I knew that I wanted to get a good foundation and for her to go see a lot of sights and go to horse shows and all the things. I wanted to capture her journey for the English Versatility. So I really believe in this new class in AQHA, which is the English Versatility, and VS Code Red is sponsoring the English Versatility Challenge at the 2026 World Championship Show. And I really think the way for me to be able to get that class out there, showcase what it's for, is to have a horse that we're preparing for it and that we're going to show in it. And the horse that I really had in mind for it from the get-go was Wheezy. And having her at home, you know, Stephanie is phenomenal. I really think they get along, and it just worked out that it was in the best interest for Wheezy to bring her home. Jamie And Stephanie and I are all on the same page, and we're all very much still collaborating on Wheezy. In this specific video, we're just gonna long line her because she just got here. We haven't really ridden her a ton yet here at home, and so that video will be coming. Trust me.
I probably would have rode her today, but I flooded the arena.
Yeah, I wasn't gonna tell anybody. You've been the one telling everybody.
Eliza was like, she should shame you on the internet for that. I was like, don't say that. Don't say that out loud.
I'm not doing it. You get like one free pass, you know?
Okay, that was it.
That was it. She flooded the arena. God, she's nice. I mean, it's hard to say who's nicer between her and Walter, just because she's so much more mature than he is at this point.
They're two different spots.
I think Walter has an advantage because he's like a fan fave at the moment, and Wheezy's kind of been out of the picture for a while, but I think there's some OG people that like have been around since Wheezy was born that are gonna like be like, no, that's my girl. So I don't know.
Can you go through that again?
Yeah, so at this point, she's just stronger and a little bit more developed in her collection, in her core muscles, in just her body than Wally is.
She's just way more fit and like toned and conditioned for the job we want her to do, the frame we want her to hold, versus Walter has very minimal muscle memory, muscle in general for that.
Okay, so that was just a little teaser of Wheezy because like I said, you're gonna get riding videos of her, I promise. She's just fresh off the trailer, right? So look forward to that. Let's go get Indy and Woody out because we're about to hose off all the babies, and I'll include that in the ending of this video. Okay, well, I wanted Indy to come up here so that I could tell you how amazing she is with her standing next to me, but she does not want to leave her alfalfa. She has alfalfa with her at all times. And Raven, this isn't about you. Anyway, hope you enjoyed. Let me know of the 3 Indy babies that we have. If you have a favorite, I would love to know who it is and why. The why is important. I want to know your reasoning. And I really just encourage you to stay tuned for updates because I'm so excited about these 3 horses, and what we're going to do is end with Woody getting hosed off. So I hope you enjoyed. Let me know if you have any questions, and stay tuned for the next one.